What's up, Trojan family? Welcome to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. Get your boy Ryan Dyrud back with you, talking all things USC Trojans. I wanted to jump on here with a quick kind of fun topic I've seen floating around, I think just today, in some group chats and just around Twitter. So thank you. Easy content for me. I appreciate it, but love to get your guys' thoughts on this. But Jayden Maiava putting together a fantastic season. I don't think there's anyone out there that, unless you're just a pure hater, that can say Jayden Maiava has not only improved and developed, but is playing like one of the better quarterbacks in college football. You don't have to say he's the best or top three, but he is one of the better quarterbacks in college football. He was tested last week against Illinois and led 3 straight touchdown drives at the end of the game to take the lead under 2 minutes. That's not for nothing. Missing your 2 starting tackles or 2 starting offensive linemen, your center and your left tackle, and wide receiver 1 or 2, wherever you put Jacoby Lane. I know he played a little bit in there, but, essentially he was out. I mean, the dude has done phenomenal. Statistically, he's one of the best. He's got a good QBR. Did throw the 1 pick, but bounced back from that. Has shown his mobility with his legs, extending drives. So I think he's had a phenomenal season so far. I think he is right now top 3 quarterback in the Big Ten, easy. Just kind of take your pick, right? When you look at Jayden Maiava, Dante Moore's had a really nice season. Obviously, a big signature win at Penn State. Fernando Mendoza, I think, has played really well. Indiana looks like the real deal again this year. And Luke Altmaier, I think, is one of the top quarterbacks also in the Big Ten. So you got to take your pick between those 4. But Maiava is not only in the conversation, it's not outside the realm that he's number 1. So hats off to him. What I've seen the conversation is, it's always been kind of assumed, and I don't really know why. I think I kind of assumed this too, but it was kind of assumed that, he would play this year and then he would be gone next year. NFL, and then this is Husan Longstreet's team next year as a true sophomore. Husan plays 2 seasons, and then Jonas Williams, the 26th quarterback, takes over as he would be a redshirt sophomore. It's always been kind of the thought from everyone, myself included. But there's been some conversation, some fun chatter today about what if Maiava comes back? Obviously, he has eligibility. What if he's back next year? And that's not a bad thing by any means. I don't think you don't need to rush Husan. Husan Longstreet's not going anywhere. So anyone that's like, oh, well, what if he comes back? What if Husan Longstreet's transfers? First of all, you can't plan for that, or plan around that, I should say. You got to plan, A, what's best for the player. I think as a coach, you got to do what's best for your players. And then 2, obviously, what's best for the team. Husan Longstreet's going to be a fantastic quarterback, and the coaches just rave about him. The dude lives at the facility. I mean, he is a football junkie, which is music to Lincoln Riley's ears, music to the fan base ears, music to the future of this program's ears. He is going to be fantastic. And I love that we're seeing him a little bit involved, whether it was by accident or not. I think the first time when he went in Illinois, I think that might have been by accident. The second time was very clear, like a play call to get him and use some of that athleticism. And he had a nice little run down to the goal line, right? So I don't think there's any fear, even if he doesn't play next year, if Maiava comes back, of him transferring. I think that's silly. But you can't plan for that. You can't go tell Maiava, kick rock. I mean, unless Husan Longstreet's better, that's a different thing, right? If they're like, hey, we're going with Husan because he's better than you, kick rocks and go, hit the portal. But anyway, that's a different discussion. The discussion is, will Maiava go to the draft, or will he be back at USC next year? Now, we got a lot to play out, but these are just kind of the scenarios that I see right now through 4 games. And before we get to that, shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. Download Sleeper, the #1 app today. Use our promo code USCLAFB. When you go to make your first deposit, you're going to get a match bonus up to $100. If you only want to put in $5, $10, they'll match you that. But you can put in up to $100. They'll match it. You can use it for the daily pick 'em. Pick 2 or 8 players, more or less, and you can win real money. Ton of fun. Yeah, let me know what you guys win. Comment below. So sleeper, USC LAFB is that promo code. So I kind of see, this is how I see it playing out. And this can change, obviously, categorically, depending how these next kind of few weeks go. But just sitting right here through 4 games, if Maiava continues at this pace, which would put him in the Heisman conversation, and unfortunately with the Heisman, your team has to be like good. You don't have to be like the winning team. You got to be like a 9-win team. You can't be 7-5 and have a Heisman candidate. I think it should be like that because there's some players that transcend a team's record, but it just never is. You got to be like one of the more competitive teams. So if USC seasons goes how it should go based on talent, and Maiava continues on this trajectory and is a true Heisman candidate and has led USC to potential playoff consideration, and he is a potential first-round pick, I see him going to the NFL draft. I'd see that as like, okay, I've put this year of development in. I've brought USC back from the doormat. I've, been close to the Heisman, whether he wins or not, but he's in the conversation. And I'm a potential first-round pick. Then I think he goes. Anytime you're a potential or lock first-round pick, it's really hard to turn that down, even in this NIL era. Making $800,000 versus $5 million is a big difference. I mean, first round pick is way more than $5 million, or first overall pick, like Caleb Williams is way more than $5 million. But if you're like back into the first round, I mean, you're making what, $5 million a year? I think I forget the tiers in the first round, but usually they're like what, 4-year. And I know there's been a lot of talk of fully guaranteed or not, but I think they're in the 25, 30 million over 4 to 5 years. So you're making, 5 to plus. It's a lot more than $800K. Which I think is roughly his NIL. I don't know exactly. So I think that goes. So the 3 scenarios, right? If that same scenario plays out, where he plays well, maybe drops off slightly, but USC still finishes the season strong, but he's like a fringe 2nd, 3rd round pick. And again, these things can change, but that's just what his agents are telling him. Then I think he comes back. I think for 2 reasons. 1, develop a little more. Work yourself into that first round. And 2, knowing what USC has built and growing, saying, okay, we won 9 games this year. With me better and back, we're going to the playoff next year. We're a natty contender. As a player, you want that to be a part of that. So I think that he comes back. And then we have this scenario of, Husan having to wait or whatever. And then the final scenario is, just kind of the wheels fall off and USC ends up having a really bad season. Jayden Maiava regresses from this 4 weeks. And then you kind of have the question of like, okay, he's probably back in college. Is it even at USC? I'm not going to go down that road because I don't want to put that even out there. I don't believe that will happen, but that's just kind of the worst case scenario that maybe he's back, but maybe he's still not at USC. It is Husan Longstreet next year. So I lean towards Maiava being in the draft next year. I think he's shown me through these 4 games that, 5 games? I think I kept saying 4. I apologize, but I think he's shown me that as long as there's not some crazy regression, he's going to be one of the top QBs in the draft because Garrett Nussmeier's regressed, or maybe he just never was ever that real good, but he has not looked good, and he was considered a top QB prospect. Drew Aller certainly does not look like a guy that's NFL teams are going to be like, oh yeah, I'm using my first round pick on that. Even Lenora Sellers, I think is still, because of the ceiling and the athleticism, is still going to be one of those top guys, but he hasn't had that year of you're like, yeah, that guy's top 5 lock. He can play back into that, but he hasn't had that kind of year this year. So all the kind of first-round players heading into the season that all the mock drafts had have all regressed a bit. I mean, your top 2 QBs right now, or top 3 if they were to go in the draft, are probably all Big Ten quarterbacks. Jayden Maiava, Fernando Mendoza, and Dante Moore if he decides to go. That's kind of how it's looking. John Mateer, obviously, I think is going to be in that conversation. We'll see how he comes back from his injury. That's obviously a big question mark there. Carson Beck, another guy that, that's more of like the ceiling kind of thing, right? Like, he's a great college quarterback. Do pros see him as that like franchise NFL guy? Or is he like I think he's better than this, and I know it's just because he came from Georgia, but is he kind of like a Stetson Bennett that was like a great college QB, a winner, but does he have that next level? We'll see as this season progresses. So, let me know what you think. Last thing I'll say on that, on Jayden Maiava anyway, just today added, and this kind of plays into just the growth, added to the Maxwell Award watch list. One of the mid-season's additions. Earlier this week, he was ranked as the number 1 Power 4 quarterback per ESPN. Number 1. He's number 1 in ESPN's QBR, and is one of the only 2 to rank in the top 20 in both completion rate and yards per completion. So he's not just dinking and dumping it. Slinging it. Dude is slinging it. So Maxwell Award, for those who don't know, is the best quarterback in college football. That's what the award goes to. Annoyingly, I think this is silly, but it seems like every year, like whoever wins the Heisman, they kind of give the next best QB the Maxwell. It's very weird. Like if you're a quarterback and you win the Heisman, like you should probably win the Maxwell also. If you're the best player in college football, why would you not be the best quarterback in college football? But for whatever reason, it's like I think the year Caleb Williams won the Heisman, Max Duggan of TCU won the Maxwell. Nothing against Max Duggan, but like, I don't think anyone would say Caleb Williams wasn't the best quarterback in college football. So, but Jayden Maiava is now on that list, that watch list, which he was not in the preseason. Good stuff. So, what do you guys think? This is bye week chatter, right? We care about this year. We care about this team growing, bouncing back. We care about Jayden Maiava continuing to stack games, to be that leader that we've seen through these first, handful of games, and to continue growing within the system and bettering himself as a player, person, quarterback. That's what we care about. But hey, it's the bye week, so we can talk a little future fodder for fun, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button, the USC LAFB YouTube channel. If you're listening on audio platforms, we appreciate you. You can subscribe there as well, or bounce over to our website, LAFBnetwork.com. Join our community, become a member, monthly subscription, or you can do a yearly subscription, and 20% of that membership is going to be donated to youth sports initiatives here in LA so we can better our youth right here in Los Angeles through sport. So help us out. Appreciate you guys. As always, we'll be back with plenty more USC Trojans coverage and talk. As always, fight on.